2026 is a very focused year for the government, and the people are very involved in 2026 because whatever happens in that year, this time around we understand how it affects us, whether you are in Nigeria or outside Nigeria. So with this, it calls for transparency, it calls for efficiency, because at the end of the day, we've seen a lot of, especially with the real estate side of investments, we've seen a lot of people cry out or call out real estate companies, oh, I was scammed and this and that.
Renewable energy is one of the things that the Nigerian government is putting in a lot, manufacturing, building structures that can last. 2 days ago, Dangote came out to say, look, if you can buy a Bentley, you can build a refinery, meaning you can build a manufacturing hub, you can employ people, you can put jobs. So they are taxing the Nigerians in the diaspora that don't just be looking at buying a house for yourself, look at building a business.
This is business landscape. Diaspora Chambers of Commerce has unveiled new investment platform tailored to Nigerians living abroad. They are aiming to facilitate structured and secure engagement with the country's emerging market. At the official launch in Lagos on Monday, themed The People, the Business, and the Future of Emerging Markets, the Chamber introduced 8 perspective projects open to diaspora investors. The organization president, Mrs. Patience Key, said the initiative is designed to give diasporans safe, credible avenues to invest in Nigeria's economy and economic growth. She emphasized the importance of bridging the gap between Nigerians abroad and local opportunities. Now, this is what we've been clamoring for a long time, with emphasis on safe investment you know you can control, and you know that nobody is going to wake up one day and tell you bust.
We are far away.
So how can we expand on this? How can we get people to open up and get to know that opportunities abound and they see?
Well, from the legal side, we are talking about repatriation rights. We're talking about dispute resolutions, because these are very core or they are integral discourse with this kind of structure. It's very important. And again, earlier I said 2026 is a very focused year for the government, and the people are very involved with 2026 because whatever happens in that year, this time around we understand how it affects us, whether you are in Nigeria or outside Nigeria. So with this, it calls for transparency, it calls for diligence, it calls for efficiency, because at the end of the day, we've seen a lot of, especially with the real estate side of investments, we've seen a lot of people cry out or call out real estate companies, oh, I was scammed and this and that. So you would of course now begin to question, because if it's done right, then the government, at the end of the day, this is why I always call out for government
Policies.
Policies and support. Don't just drop the policy. Support, be part of it, because you are at the end of the day, government is the end user or consumer of this structures. There's a lot of benefits from this things. There's a lot to tap from this thing. So if it's done right, and they put in the legal framework that guides and puts everyone in their positions, then I think it's a good one.
Okay. Now you brought up this particular sad side of it. Earlier this year, before even the advent of the coastal road, we had issues with estate developers that
before we talk about estate, can we just first talk about the investment? Then we'll come to estate.
Investment.
Before we talk about it, because I don't want to run that estate. Those people, I'm sorry, they are a throne, and I don't want to go to that aspect.
You don't need to go there.
I want to talk about the diaspora investment.
That's where we are going to. Hold on.
Okay.
Now, see, for those particular people that invested in those estates, that at the end of the day, nothing came out of it. Then the coastal road came up and issues came out of it. How can we start seeing more clarity when it comes to businesses they can invest in? It mustn't be real estate.
Good. Before you start that's what I said. I didn't want to dabble into that for now. I'll come back to that question. But there's something I want to assess, since we are talking about investment from people abroad. We will know that there's going to be a lot in 2026 because Adebayo Ogunlisi already opened the shop. He owns an airport or a couple of other big businesses, and he came to Nigeria and met with Mr. President, and he said, look, they are working on renewable energy. They are coming into Nigeria. They are looking at manufacturing. They are looking at this. This has already promoted Nigerians in the diaspora to think about business. Now, when he came, he didn't talk about real estate. That's why I said we'll come back to that. He talked about projects that, to a large extent, if it's done right with government policies, you can't be scammed. Renewable energy is one of the things that the Nigerian government is putting in a lot. Manufacturing, building structures that can last. 2 days ago, Dangote came out to say, look, if you can buy a Bentley, you can build a refinery, meaning you can build a manufacturing hub, you can employ people, you can put jobs. So they are taxing the Nigerians in the diaspora that don't just be looking at buying a house for yourself. Look at building a business that can last the test of time. The government right now is building policies to build business, to encourage business owners. Come and put something in Nigeria that is going to last the test of time. As for the houses, it is really very sad. I still feel bad. I think federal government needs to do more on their policies for real estate. I know there was a time I was able to anchor the real estate event. They have this event yearly when they talk about people. Apparently, so there's a body, and they are, I think it's ECOM or something, I don't know what it's called. They are registered. So if you are not part of it, they tell you that if you go and buy from anybody that is not part of that body, if anything comes up, there's a problem. But if they are part of the body, then the body can sit you down and, walk around. And they had the privilege of having the Minister of Works come for that event. They had, of course, the commissioner in Lagos for housing was there. But then it was weird because one of the real estate people that was being dragged a year before for having over 1,000 people with lands that, you buy land in Agungi, and at the end, when it's time for you to collect the land, you find out it's after law school in Aja or Blackwell. He was one of the presiding chairmen. And then I was asking somebody, although I was emceeing the event or I was part of the MC, I was being paid. I was saying, how are you going to fight this guy since he's here? It's just politics. But what we are trying to say is the government needs to do more on policies. They need to do more on real estate because a lot of people have been scammed. But what the Tinubu administration is trying to say is don't just look at buying a house for yourself. The Nigeria Stock Exchange is doing well, putting money here. We are building refineries, we are building projects, we are building manufacturing. And this organization, if you actually looked at their principle, they are also talking about coming to invest, not houses now, coming to invest in capital projects in Nigeria, things that will yield you dividends as you are abroad. Now, the good thing they are also doing in Nigeria, they have made banking seamless. So you can transfer dollar to Naira very easily. The tax officer has also come out to clarify that if it's a gift or if it's for an investment, they are not going to tax you, that the only taxation is coming on salary, which is critical because at this point, people in the diaspora were getting scared. If I send money to my parents to build a house, if I send money to invest, are you going to tax out of it? So I send 10 million to invest, that means you're going to tax, you're taking out 500,000 or so. They were afraid. And this was important for them to come out and clarify this, that no, you are not going to be taxed from this. It is only what you earn that is going to be taxed. So we are looking at investment. Policies are good. Nigeria is looking better. At least, like you said, we have not had fuel scarcity, but transportation still went up for December. I don't know why. My bus drivers and my brothers and sisters travel still have to pay almost twice the price, but it's fine.
Everything can be fine when the money is leaving the pocket. Okay.
Now, you should do something about it, the governor.
Let's look at it from this other angle. Aside oil, aside other exportation that we do as a nation, one of the major foreign earners for us is diaspora remittance. Major, not just for Nigeria, for Africa.
Yeah.
Right now, we are going to a tax year, 2026. And we are also looking at this particular citizens of ours who reside outside this country to not just send monies, but invest in viable businesses. How are we going to start, or how are we going to start mitigating issues that we arise, because definitely it will arise because we are just starting a new tax system, starting a new tax regime. So be it overzealous people or be it things that we've not accounted for or issues, how do we mitigate as fast as possible when these issues start arising from monies coming into this country for investment or personal use, because it will happen.
So one of my biggest challenge with this question is the fact that we are already anticipating disputes. Why don't we start to? That's why I like the tax chairman. He has been on a roll trying to put out awareness because it's very important. Can we all get in line to understanding how we fall into the tax brackets? What can be taxed? What cannot be taxed? Because if you use PayPal, for example, if I send you money from the US using my PayPal account and I don't, you see that information of that transaction remark. It's an information to safeguard your money, to give an instruction to the third party, to the to the company that is sending the money out to you that this is what this money is for. It helps to track information. It helps to put up data, and because we are a very allegedly nonchalant nation when it comes to putting things right, we automatically build ourselves and our mindset for disputes. So that's why I'm just addressing where you just the question you asked. So what happens? Why can't we start looking at people in diaspora or Nigerians in diaspora, looking at how they can get much awareness or knowledge about what the tax is first, and then when we do that, then you can understand what's right. That's why I said at the beginning that if we bank on knowing fully well how Nigerian justice system is, if we bank on what the dispute will look like, putting things in place for disputes, we will not finish. You understand? So let's us as a Nigerian nation or as a nation to say, sit back and understand this tax first. Whatever you don't understand, there's so many tax lawyers out there. We bring some of them to the show to discuss these things. There are so many resources out there to know what it's like for your investment as well. So because it's difficult when you're out there and trying to follow up on a dispute. And this is me telling you facts as a lawyer, because if you say you want to start pushing these things, it's going to take a long time. So why don't you understand it first, and then you know where you can put in your money? Let's deal with that first. If not,
understand it
first.
Good. So now we are trying to allay your fears and tell you, like he said, understand what the tax regime is.
We are done understanding. I have something to drop. I'm so sorry. That's what we are here for. We also want to talk about the fact that the diaspora movement, according to statistics, is a good one to limit borrowing by the federal government, and this is why it's critical for.
When you say limit borrowing, how do you mean by limit borrowing?
Now, it's when they are coming to invest, they are bringing in hard currencies from different countries. You're looking at China, America, Europe, UK, and so if they are investing properly, so you're having people come, like the Ogunleses, come and invest in oil and gas, it will reduce the federal government saying we need to take a loan of 300 million or 300 billion from World Bank or whatever.
The money they are investing doesn't belong to the government.
That's what I'm saying, to put into this. Because these investors who are coming with hard currency, it will reduce federal government wanting to take loans if the investors are open to coming, especially the big investors. Like I gave instances of the Adebayo Ogunlese. So those are one of the things people are saying. People are also saying that part of the US thing.
Is it what people are saying or what is?
What is in the market, what people are saying. There's also, me, I love my, what do you call those things that they come around like, I can't just pick the name, that somebody's trying to sabotage us. Now, they are claiming that part of the US reforms and the screaming about insecurity in Nigeria was to reduce the number of people that were coming into the country for dirty December. Last year, we saw how much we made. A friend of mine was at the airport. He came in from US a week ago, and he was talking about the fact that there were a lot of seats that he didn't buy because they had told him that a lot of people that don't have their papers complete or they have not, nationalized, they're going to be afraid because all those information were going that you could come to Nigeria for December and you won't be able to go back into US. So all these things were in quotes to limit the kind of funding that is coming into Nigeria, because US noticed that the last time there was this kind of crowd, it kind of almost shook the dollar rate for a bit. And let's be honest, every superpower doesn't want their dollar rate to the naira rate shaking. So this is another good thing about the diaspora people coming. It is just for Nigerian and the country. I know Chuks, you're coming for me, but I'm waiting for you. It is for us to put in more policies, secure Nigeria, make it better. The airports were full. More people came from dirty December, and this comes, we have to give it to the Commissioner of Culture, the Commissioner of Culture in Lagos, Minister of Tourism. They did a lot of things to showcase Nigeria that, look, this is a place to have fun. This is a place to come to. This is a place that when you've made your money, which is what happens in China and India, come back home and enjoy the holidays. And so if we do more of this, there will be more investment, because when people are coming, they are seeing investment, they'll be able to put in more money, and that's bringing money into the economy. Anything that is bringing money into the Nigerian economy right now is what we need.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
Church, just before we go, it's very important that we're talking about diasporans looking to invest. Please, this is how will I put it?
Personal.
It's personal.
Yes.
In the sense that I'm more of the real estate side.
Okay.
And I have a lot of friends that are lawyers, and we preach the gospel of land search. We preach the gospel of compliance. It's very important. Investment is not just about sitting down on your laptop, having 3 screens and looking at what the greens and reds are. There are people that are experts that can give you expert opinions on what it looks like, because you're not in the country. I can decide to say, yeah, you don't have to be in the country anyways, but there's a place of expertise. As a lawyer, as an accountant, as a forex trader, you need people that you can trust with these opinions before you go into it. So because like you mentioned, I personally don't like, as much as I am a lawyer, I focus more on teaching people first, guiding people before we get to disputes, because dispute can take, how long it can take, and it's frustrating on the results that you're trying to get. So why don't we even try as much as possible to guide people first? So please speak to your tax lawyers, speak to your accountants, speak to your trade experts, and before you get your money into the system. But trust me, it's going to be an interesting year for anyone looking to invest.